What's going on, everybody? Welcome in to the Blazers Uprise Postgame show powered by BetUS. Today, the Blazers made history. They won they have their second three-game winning streak of the season. That's historic, Eric. Historically good basketball from the Blazers. They win again. 3 games in a row. 1, 2, 3 wins in a row for the Blazers, man. Are they turning the corner? Are they going to make the play-in? Was benching Scoot the right decision? We're going to talk about Scoot later on in the stream and that whole decision because I have some very strong thoughts about that. But we get to talk about another Blazer victory, all right? And the theme of this post-game show is, they're playing good defense lately, which is cool. But are they messing up their tank? And what about the future? Eric, how's it going?
Oh, pretty good. How was the rectory?
It was good, man. It was good. So I'm going to do what I did last stream, all right? I'm introing the stream. I got a couple quick questions for you, and then I'll let you solo stream for about 20 minutes or so, and then I'll be back, and we can get into the Scoot conversation. Every time I have you solo stream to start a stream, it's always like, please don't talk about this one thing until I'm back. The one thing today is the Scoot coming off the bench thing, all right?
Yeah, but you already got a chance to talk about it a little bit. Right?
No, but I had to rush it because it was in the middle of picks, and then the game was starting. So I feel like I have not been able to fully vent my heart to the world, and that's the only reason we do this channel is so I can vent my heart to the world, right? All jokes aside, though, Eric, I got a couple questions for you. All right, couple questions. Are we prioritizing, no? What should we prioritize, the present or the future?
I mean, I think
just present future. Or future? Future, right? All right. Which 2 players are most important for our future?
The 2 that are coming off the bench now.
Yeah. I know there's probably some people out there that are like, be positive, the Blazers won again. But, I mean, at least Anthony Simons auditioned well. And Orlando desperately needs some more scoring because with Franz Wagner on a minutes restriction, he still put in 20 in 24 minutes. The Magic didn't even cross 80 points. They scored 79 points. Some of that was due to future all-defensive team member Jabari Walker, who had 7 stocks in the first half, 5 steals in the first half. I don't actually think he's a future all-defensive member, but my goodness, that dude was flying around today. The Magic turned it over 16 times in the first half. Or at least that's... ESPN stats is broken because at the bottom it says they have 6 turnovers, but I'm looking at their stat sheet and Banchero had 5. So I don't know what it is, but...
They had 22.
Yeah, 22 turnovers for them. Banchero goes 1 for 14. 1 for 14 for Banchero. Wagner has 20 points in 24 minutes, but outside of that, the rest of the team, awful. Absolutely awful. Good defense by the Blazers, but the Magic need some scoring. Anthony Simons played well tonight. 8 for 15 from the field for him. We'll get the player of the game poll up here in a second. You guys can vote on the player of the game, but I guess that's the best news from this game. You have Robert Williams look good in the start. 8 points, 12 boards, 4 blocks. We're going to talk some trades later on tonight, but this was, I don't know. It's tough to feel that good about this game considering Scoot only played 14 minutes and fouled out. It was coming off the bench for some freaking reason. And then Sharp was 3 for 11. You know what I mean, Eric? It's hard to feel that great about this win. But it was a great defensive game, I guess, so props for that.
Are we going to do Discord calls when you get back?
Yeah. This is also call-in night, so... about after an hour, we'll take calls, so you guys will be able to call in. Or at least when I'm back, maybe we'll open up the phone lines and do it like we did last time. We'll figure it out. But, Eric, before I go, I just don't feel satisfied with this win at all. And I guess this because I'm already going into tanking mode, and it's just without Sharp and Scoot contributing to it and Klingon being out, it just doesn't feel like anything positive to me. Do you feel that same way, or are you a little bit happier than I am?
I'm still indifferent in terms of the winning and losing. I've been saying this all year. I'm not going to get too high or too low. based on winning or losing games. If this was just like a random game that they won, um, I would probably be right there with you. But since it's their third in a row and they've won in a numerous different ways and different people stepping up and it's not like Scoot and Sharp haven't contributed outside of this game lately to their turnaround over the last 3 games.
Yeah, the other game, sure, but this game specifically.
Yeah. So I would just, for me, I think I'm just chalking it up to one game, and I just keep looking at that February 6th date, 2 weeks from today, and just saying, hopefully this problem is solved in 2 weeks. Yeah. And maybe they just don't know how to handle the roster until then. We can all agree we think it's the wrong way to handle it, but we all knew they weren't going to bench Grant when he came back. We all knew they're not benching Ant right now. So
people ask, are they already tanking? No, clearly not.
Right? Yeah,
clearly not.
So for me, I think it's. I'm torn between. God, sucks are winning right now. We're gonna get stuck in like the worst possible position to be in this draft, which is like 7 through 10 or whatever, and that's gonna suck unless we get lucky like the Hawks did last year. But I don't know. I'm not gonna get too upset about the overall picture as long as this is like a temporary thing. But it's still stupid the way Scoot's been playing. We've talked about this before. I think he earned the right to get the keys for the rest of the season, regardless of what happened. And let's
just have that conversation right now before I go.
I don't know if because chat seemed to think it, or seemed to indicate Chauncey didn't say anything. I might have missed it, but did Chauncey give a reason like he did with Sharp, other than people came back from injuries and you don't lose a job from injuries?
That's the only reason he could possibly give.
Yeah. But with Sharp, he specifically said his defensive intensity had lacked, so he moved into the bench. So I was curious if he had a similar reasoning for Scoot to do this, but yeah.
I don't see how Scoot's playing the best basketball of his career and you have a basketball reason for benching him. You know what I mean? There's no logical way to explain it with play. The only logical way they could explain this is with guys came back, guys got healthy, but it's just why are we not prioritizing our freaking future when we're rebuilding, man? It's just, I'm tired of being directionless. I'm freaking sick of it. And this is why I can't come on a post-game show after winning the third game in a row, because guess what? This organization is going to be rooting for losses at the end of the season and probably saying, man, I wish instead of having 5th best odds, we had 3rd best odds at capturing the flag. That's what this organization is they're rebuilding, and they will tank hard as heck for the final month and a half, and maybe they'll tank so good it doesn't even matter that much, but it's okay, number one, it's all right, we're going to be wishing this was maybe a loss at the end of the year, but it's what did I always say going into the season? If it's about development and they win games because, Scoot has big games and Sharp has big games and those guys are developing well, I'll be happy about it. I will absolutely be happy about it. But that is exactly the reason why this win, I am not happy about it at all. Because Scoot Sharp did not contribute to it at all. And it's we bench Scoot because we got to start Grant and we got to start Simons. At least we're starting Avdia, but it's just freaking directionless and it's a mess. And a lot of people are blaming Chauncey. Sure, blame Chauncey. But Cronin is the one that put together this cobblestone roster, right? There's no rhyme or reason to it. It's kind of a mess. And it's stupid. It's stupid to sit here. We drafted this guy 3rd overall. He's in his 2nd year. He's been starting. He's been taking a leap. And we're going to reward that by demoting him. It is so incredibly stupid and ridiculous because he is your future. The only way he's not your future is if you get lucky enough in the draft. But by benching Scoot, by playing these vets, man, like, all right, what? You're really trying to win games like this? What is your freaking plan? And their plan is to pray that they get lucky at the deadline and then pray they get lucky in the lottery. Their plan is literally just sitting there with their fingers crossed, like, hopefully somebody will trade something for Grant and Ayton, and then hopefully the ping pong balls go in our favor. No freaking plan, completely directionless, and it's seriously pissing me off. Like, nothing has pissed me off more this season, Eric, than them benching Scoot after the play that he's had lately. It's freaking ridiculous. Like, at least with Sharp, okay, he had a little bit of inconsistencies, and at least you had a reason, a basketball reason. I still didn't like it. Because I don't think the reason they gave for Sharp was consistent across the roster, right? But at least Chauncey could come up with a reason. There's absolutely no excuse when this dude is playing the best basketball of his career, developing well, to freaking demote him. And then he comes out in this game and it's like he's trying. What message does that send him, Eric? You're playing great. You're playing so much better. You're even playing better defense. You're hustling on that end, but we're going to demote you. So then what's Scoot going to try and do? He's going to come into a game and he's going to try even harder and probably try too hard. And oh, look, he fouls out in 14 minutes. Surprise, surprise. Like, I don't think that was just a coincidence. Maybe it was, but it's just funny how he's actually been doing a better job lately of playing some solid defense without fouling. And then the one game he gets demoted to the bench after he's been starting and playing well, all of a sudden he fouls like crazy. And it's almost like he was trying to prove that, oh, you shouldn't have demoted me. I don't know. He probably isn't even thinking like that, but it's just an interesting correlation, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I do think part of it, though, is like, I mean, I want him to have the attitude. I don't know what his attitude was tonight. He just could have gotten unlucky with the fouls, but hopefully he has the attitude of like, well, I'm going to show Chauncey like that was the wrong decision or whatever.
You don't want him to change his mindset.
No, I'm just saying, like, I'm going to keep playing the way I'm playing, and like, yeah, like.
But it's just like, how he's playing apparently isn't good enough to stay in the starting lineup when they're rebuilding and should be prioritizing him over everything.
Yeah, like I said, hopefully it's just a temporary thing because
it's just like
this roster needs to be different.
So I've started listening to just like kind of guys, NBA podcasts. I haven't listened to much, but NBA podcasts and like Six Rings of Steel, like guys like that. And the common thing I hear is like, what the hell is Portland doing? Why is Scoot playing less minutes than last year? Why are they bringing him off the bench? Why are they not prioritizing the guy they spent the 3rd overall pick on and replaced Damian Lillard with? And it's like, it's almost like we're so used to the BS being this close to the team that it's like it starts to, I don't know what the right word is, but we start to become numb to it. And then you start listening to these other guys, it's like, yeah, why are we not prioritizing the guy we took 3rd overall and replaced Dame with? Why are we not, playing him more? Why are we, like, what's the plan to develop him? I don't know, but actually, think about it this way. If the Blazers had to play Scoot at least 25 minutes a game, all right, let's say they had to play Scoot 25 minutes a game, but they actively tried to sabotage his development, what would they do? They would run a bullcrap offense that is very stagnant, very isolation-focused, and force him to isolate too much, okay? They would surround him with an utter lack of shooting, and when he starts to play well, maybe in the starting lineup, then they toy with his role to mess him up. Like, everything you could come up with to like try and mess up his development, I feel like they're doing. And if you look at it that way, it's like, what else could they do to try and mess with his development while still playing him 25 minutes a game? Because I feel like they're doing it all right now.
But you're not suggesting they want to do that, right? They're just dumb.
They're just dumb.
Right?
They're just dumb and directionless and have no plan. And this is part of the reason why Cronin should have traded vets earlier. Because he would have gotten more value, and he wouldn't run into this problem, and everybody that defended him kicking the can down the road say, they don't have to trade him now, they can be patient, blah, blah, blah. Well, you're seeing some legitimate issues right now from that. And the directionless has gone too far. Pick a freaking lane, pick a direction. The direction is we're rebuilding. And if we win games while going down our clear-cut path, okay, fine. But it's like, that just put such a bad taste in my mouth before this game. And I'm just so tired of them being completely freaking directionless. And it's seriously like, I'll give them this. They never give us a lack of something to talk about. But, dude, just rebuild properly, please. Please, man.
I guess for me, like, it's kind of, I don't know what the right word is. I am a little surprised by how upset you are, simply because we've been talking about this since Joe Cronin took over, right? Like, he doesn't seem to have a plan. This organization doesn't seem to understand how to get the most out of their rebuild, whether it's the salary cap situation or the roster or the coaching or the playing time or who starts. Like, no matter what it is, this organization seems to do the wrong thing lately, right?
But you know what it is? You know what it is? It's them finding ways to stoop to new lows.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't think they would bench Scoot. I think they'd find a way to keep him in the starting lineup with how he's playing. Like, I did not expect that, man. But also, I'm not surprised.
But we knew it was going to happen, right?
But it's just like part of it. Like I said, is like I've been listening to people that covered the league, right? And it's like just making me realize, like, yeah, we're becoming numb to the BS, and it's exactly what you're saying. We're becoming numb to the BS, and we're coming on here like, yeah, at least they played Scoot 25 minutes on post-game shows. Like, what?
Yeah, I think it's just that we know, like we've known, you know, I'm not saying we predict the future or anything. I'm not trying to say we're like that smart, but like we're often ahead of, the Blazers aren't going to make a move or be able to make a move because they don't have salary to match, or, you know, they don't have, they're not going to use a trade exception because they're not going to add the salary or whatever. Like, we often say those things before they actually happen, you know? Yeah. And so, like, for me, it's like, I mean, I think we even talked about this a couple games ago when Grant came back, like, was coming back, and they got fortunate for a couple of games because Tamani, I think, was sick. Mm-hmm. I think it lined up right when Grant came back, right? I don't remember what happened. Or Simons was out. Or, yeah, Simons missed a game. So, like, they didn't have this issue because there was always Simons or Tamani missed a game, different games. And so they were able to start Scoot still. Mm-hmm. But, like, we even talked about it. Grant comes back. We know he's not going to the bench. We know they're not moving Simons to the bench. So, yeah, it pissed me off when I saw that Scoot was going to the bench. But also, the most predictable thing ever with this franchise, because they, like you said, they can't get out of their own way, and they continue to do things that make me question what the heck this organization's doing. And for me, this goes back to ownership. Starts at the top and trickles down to your whole organization, and they've been this way. I mean, you can argue since Jody took over, I mean, she got the benefit of a season where she didn't really have to do much, and they go to the Western Conference Finals her first year. But since then, it's just been a comedy of errors as how to turn a Western Conference Finals team into a non-playoff team / rebuilding team and piss off your franchise player and
then not properly rebuild.
And then not even, like, set up your roster cap-wise or player-wise to be the most beneficial in that rebuild. And so for me, I have to question if it starts at the top, and until we have new ownership, I just think this is how it's going to be, because we have someone who doesn't really understand any of this stuff, can't question her GM.
Yeah, but it's like if you had a GM that was freaking competent, man.
Right. But here's the thing. So I hate to do this story. I really do. And I'm sorry if this gets clipped and all these people end up seeing this.
It's fine.
But the cronies are actually hurting this franchise, because Jody thinks Cronin's like this beloved person, right? So, like, oh, he's a rock star signing autographs before FanFest. So like Jody doesn't think he's a bad GM probably,
Yeah.
like because she sees nothing but, the vocal part of this fan base that like loves Cronin, right? And
Mm-hmm.
that she probably doesn't see shows like us that have been like, what the hell? This dude sucks for 4 years,
Yeah.
so
But that's also why I'm not going to take a lying down. You're saying like you wonder why I'm
right.
so mad, and it's like, oh, we deal with this all the time. It's like,
Hmm.
dude, I care too much to just sit here and excuse it and BS to people like certain people do. I care too much. I care too much. I want this organization headed in the right direction. It's all out of love, man. I want them to do the right thing. Across the league, it's not even a debate that, like, yeah, the Blazers are messing up. The only person that would say this team has any sort of direction is somebody that is extremely biased towards this front office or really likes Joe or really likes Chauncey or basically is just rooting for these guys too hard that they're just going to put their head in the sand and sit here and say, like, yeah, everything they're doing is completely fine. They clearly have a plan. It's like you can't really point to anything in terms of them having a plan because they are in an extremely tough spot going into this deadline. If their plan was to be in an extremely tough spot going into this deadline in a rebuild with benching Scoot after he's playing well, then that's a pretty crappy plan and should not deserve any credit and should not be used as an excuse for this front office then. So, I mean, that's why it freaking pisses me off, and I'm happy that we have a platform where we can come on here and just like speak our minds and speak what we think is the truth. I just don't even know how you debate it. This is completely directionless. So I'm pissed. Like I'm legitimately mad just thinking about this because you got the deadline coming up. I'm not super optimistic. It's in 2 weeks. Hopefully they can weasel their way out. But it's like, what if they can't? How much longer are we gonna deal with this? Like, and it's I'm asking for the bare minimum. That's the thing. Oh, Tori, you're so hard on the team. I'm asking for the bare minimum, man. Rebuild properly. Get rid of your vets. Don't flirt with the tax when you're in a rebuild, and then just start your young players that are improving and playing well. It's such a bare minimum thing, man. I'm not asking for anything. I'm asking for them to just properly freaking rebuild, and they can't even do that. So, whatever, man. The cronies are always gonna defend Crona, man. There's people in this world that like people in power too much. They'll always defend anything they ever do. And that applies to Cronin. So, whatever.
Well, I want to read this message by Cole. He says, Cronin has definitely been loved among our fan base, but from what I've seen around, a lot of cronies are saying they'll get mad at him if he does nothing at the deadline. So not sure what y'all are on.
We'll see.
Okay.
They said that last year about Brogdon.
Yeah. And then they all defended it.
Yeah.
Like every single one of them was like, oh, well, you get more value in the offseason.
And then they used him as salary filler and didn't get anything back for him because Washington didn't even care about that. They wanted the 2 firsts.
But, Colt, you're actually proving my point. If they turn on him, that could change things. That might get Jody to be like...
It's not even about like hate him or turn on him. Hold him accountable. Hold this organization accountable.
Right. So if he does nothing at this deadline or like nothing significant, and all of a sudden all these people who have done nothing but praised him and been like, oh yeah, Blazers are so much better off than the Heat now and all this stuff, like that whole portion of the fan base, like if they turn on him and then Jody starts to hear like those people who have always been like, oh, Cronin's the best GM ever.
Does Jody even hear these people though?
No, I don't. I don't know.
Let's be real. Like, does she even pay attention like that?
Well, I don't know, but like, there are a lot of people, like I'm sure she's heard like Danny or something talk, like. I don't know.
I don't know, dude. I feel like she shows up to games and then she goes to her private jet or her yacht with her, she has her Speedos ready and then goes and does whatever the hell she wants to do, right? That's what I think. Like, I just don't think she cares. She's collecting a paycheck for being the stewardess of this team, right? She's getting her money. Does she really care about this team? Because people say, oh, yeah, she cares. What? Name one thing to prove it. Oh, she invested in a G League team. Oh, cool. Great. Yeah. We're like the last team in the league to have a G League team. Great. Whatever, man. Nothing. I just don't think she cares. I just don't think she cares.
Well, I think there's a difference between caring and not knowing how to run a team, which I think is the difference. So I don't think it matters if she cares or not. I don't have any idea. Like, I mean, I've seen her at games, not as much as she used to, but like I went to the game the other night. She was there against the Bulls. So at least she's not like completely distant from the organization and just collecting a paycheck. But I don't think she understands how to run a sports team,
No.
and that's the problem. And you know, like if she's at FanFest and sees the love for Cronin or whatever, I mean, she has to know the difference between like how much hate Olshey got as GM and how much less hate and how much people appreciated Cronin's style when he first got the job. So like I don't know how much she knows past that, but
she
like,
knows what Burt Cold tells her.
Yeah.
That's what I think her involvement is. I think Burt Cold always wanted to be very involved with Paul, right?
Mm-hmm.
And now he gets his chance because Jody doesn't know what she's doing. That's my best guess is Burt will tell her whatever Burt thinks, and that's it. Almost in a way, I feel like Burt Cold owns this team.
I mean, yeah. And you know, Cronin could just be the puppet, I guess, you know. But
It's all a mess. It's a dysfunctional organization. The thing is, you can be a dysfunctional organization and still rebuild properly. You know, like okay,
well,
you shouldn't have vets. You should have some money. Any competent GM could be like, oh yeah, we'll take on a contract with an asset with the flexibility we have, and then anybody can get lucky in the lottery, especially if you maximize your odds. So an incompetent, dysfunctional organization can rebuild properly. That's why it's like going into this rebuild, it's like just do it properly. We know you're dysfunctional from the top down. Just do it properly. Just embrace the rebuild. Fine, I will embrace the rebuild with you, even though I was very upset about the whole Dame thing. I was still ready. Like, all right, let's embrace the rebuild. Oh, we got Brogdon and Robert Williams with some picks back in the Dame and Drew trades. All right, flip those guys for more picks. Let's just accumulate picks. Let's play the young guys. Let's develop them. Let's lose some games. Let's get some ping pong balls and then cross our fingers on draft lottery day. Like, that's all. That's all. They can do that. They could do that. But it's like their dysfunction goes so far into like, no, we're not really going to seriously shop Jeremy Grant at the deadline for some reason. We want DeAndre Ayton's contract. We're going to match Matisse Thybulle for some reason. We traded for him for some reason. Right? Like, we're going to keep Robert Williams for the hell of it, and then he's going to get hurt for the whole season and kill his trade value. And, we're going to keep Brogdon for whatever reason. Maybe they couldn't get back anything for him, and then they use him as salary. Like, it's almost like they're so dysfunctional they can't get out of their own way. Because I feel like you can be dysfunctional and just be like, okay, well, we should you know what? Jody wants to pay less money to the payroll. I don't even know where the payroll comes from. Who knows? The ownership crap. But, all right, trade the high salary vets then and don't even care what you get back. That would be better. If they just traded the high salary vets for expiring so they could save some money. That would be even better than this if they did that last year, if that's what they were trying to do. But it's like they can't get out of their own way. This might be the most negative winning stream ever.
Yeah, you're very negative tonight.
I'm mad, man. I had a good day too. Honestly, if I wasn't thinking about the Blazers right now, I'd be in a good mood.
Oh, here you go. Read Rick's sales comment.
Oh, it's hidden. All right. Let's see. This is gonna be good. You're right. It's not like she's drastically expanded the scouting team, bought a G League team, changed the medical staff, and signed off on the rebuild and remodel the kitchen. It will expand the arena. Cool. So she runs the team. All right. Didn't they sell the team to Portland? To the city?
They didn't
Or
sell
was
the
it the
team.
land? Not the team,
They
the
sold the
arena.
arena. Yeah.
So is it her expanding the arena, or is it the city?
No, they were supposed to do it, and she delayed the
Oh,
expansion.
yeah, and then she sold the arena to the city, so all right, that's not it. And bro, she expanded the scouting team. Oh, she hired some people. Who knows if it was even her hiring some people?
Um, Also, as Elizabeth Allen points out, you get paid basically to have a G League team now, so
Yeah, all
it
right.
doesn't
So
cost you money.
yeah, so no, check off the G League team. No, cross that out. Change the medical staff. So changing the medical staff means you care. Just swapping out a medical staff means she really cares. Really? Signed off on the rebuild? So she let Joe Cronin blow up the team. That means she cares? Really? Like the G League team is not a check in her favor. She didn't expand the arena. She sold it to the city. So like none of that stuff holds weight to me. Okay, find $1 billion, do it yourself if you're gonna complain. Working on it, bro. All right.
Wow.
You know,
Okay.
we'll see. We'll see. At least I'd care. I deserve $1 billion just to buy the team, just to fix it.
See, here's what I think it is. Okay, so as the owner, she's probably like, okay, we're rebuilding. I want you to stay out of the tax. And then Joe gets under the tax, and it's like, okay, good job, you stayed under the tax. Like, but like she doesn't realize what more he could do by getting further under the tax, or like creating cap space, or like she's not like, hey, I saw the San Antonio Spurs have got a first for Harrison Barnes. Why aren't we in a position to do that kind of stuff? You know, like she doesn't. I don't think it's like that deep, and I don't even think that's her fault necessarily. But like to her, like Joe's probably doing a great job because when I inherited this team, they were in the tax the first couple years, and then that kind of made me mad because the second year I told Neil O'Shea to get under the tax and he didn't do anything, and he kept Whiteside after the deadline. So this guy's great. He gets under the tax every year. He knows how to cut salary at just the right time, and yeah, I'm making my money. So the league, like Spin just points out, signed a huge TV deal, so she's definitely going to have that revenue stream coming in. I don't think her money's changing it already. So
Yeah.
I just think it's just that she just doesn't know how to question Joe, and in her mind, Joe's probably doing exactly what she thinks he needs to do.
Maybe in the minority, but I would love if Jody could buy the team. She's investing a ton of money into the operations and renovating. Is that her money she's investing? Or is it Vulcan's money she's investing? Like, is she even making the decisions on that money that's being invested? Like, it's such a messy ownership thing in terms of like who is what, because she gets money for running the team and then like doesn't get money if she sells, and the whole trust is complicated. I don't know where you get off defending Jody. Like, it's wild to me. Maybe you're Burt Cold. I'm just gonna say Rick Sale in chat is Burt Cold. Burt, just do a better job. Just get Cronin to trade the vets, okay? Then I'll get off your ass, all right? All right, Burt? All right, Burt? Oh, the broadcast! They put money into it! All right, man.
Yeah, because they got killed when they tried to go cheap.
Yeah, they went cheap with the freaking broadcast, man. Like, all right, cool, man. They spent some money to try and get back the 60% of viewership they lost, or whatever it was. Cool. Listen, you know what? if she does care and she's running things this poorly and things are going this poorly, that might be even worse for her. That might be even worse for her. Because she don't got that excuse no more. And it's not like this organization is being run well in terms of the direction of putting a good team on the floor, which is what matters.
Oh.
Cole, they literally said they weren't going to bring the broadcasters on the road at first. They were going to do remote broadcasts, man. Anyway. Like, I'll do a poll. I'll do a poll while I leave.
I
And then I gotta go, and I'll be back. What were you gonna say?
I don't like that Aeromancer hit him. I don't.
Yeah, no, he shouldn't. He shouldn't. We can undo that, but
unless I missed him saying like something, but
yeah, no, he didn't say anything bad. He just loves Jody Allen. That's okay. Sorry.
I know he created the account today, but we still have to allow people to have their opinions and not just ban them because of an opinion.
Not everybody is that guy, Arrow. Not everybody is that guy.
I mean, probably is one of two people, but
yeah. But I mean, here's the thing. People come in, they disagree, we argue it well. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. Because a lot of the narrative about, oh, she's doing all this and that, it's like, no, it doesn't really work for me, man. So give us a chance to argue it. Fine. That's fine. I mean, listen, we can do a poll, and we'll do a poll. Do you think Jody's doing a good job as owner? Yes or no? The fans will speak. The fans will speak. I think it's like across the board kind of accepted that she's not doing a good job. The only people that think she's a good job are people just listen to those who work for the team or are very close with the team that try and put all this positive spin on everything she does, no matter what. The people that listen to those people, those are the only people, oh yeah, maybe she's doing a good job because I'm being told she's doing a good job, so I'm going to ignore everything that I see in regards to everything this organization is doing. And I'm just going, oh yeah, they got a G League team. Good job, Jody. Good owner. You know, every team has a G League team, but we do too, so good job. Like, all right, go cheerlead. That's fine. That's fine. Anyway, 81% of the people say no. 80. I don't know why it's dropping. Should be rising, but.
Desmond says you banned me, and well, on YouTube, I have not banned you. Obviously, you're still here.
Do you want to start the call-ins when I leave?
Sure.
Do you want to do it that way?
I mean, sure.
Cool.
And you got banned on Discord for, you know what you got banned for.
Yeah.
Spreading outright lies about how sports organizations work. Have you met Tori yet, Heromancer? That's kind of what he does.
What he say?
He says Tori keeps saying he's got to go and then doesn't go.
Well, okay, I was going to go. I actually have food ready, and I've like barely eaten all day, and I have food ready, but you get me started on Scoot, and then I get started on Jody, and it's like, I don't feel my hunger anymore because my stomach is filled with anger instead. So, yeah, but, I'll let this poll run. I opened up the call-in. You know how to accept people to the stage, right, Eric? You're able to do that? Can somebody test it? Arrow, hop in here for a sec. So we can test it. Because, yeah, it will be easier to do a call-in like when it's just you and the other person. All right, Arrow. No, but don't just join. Let Eric invite you to speak.
Ask to speak.
No, yeah, well, you can invite him if you, like, right-click on him. Or, yeah.
Invite to speak. There you go.
Okay,
Okay.
cool. All right, it worked. All right. Thanks, Arrow. Appreciate you, bro.
Yeah,
If you want to stay in here, Arrow, you can.
Yeah.
yeah, I got something to say.
All
Okay.
right.
Well, I might stay for this. What you got?
See, now Tori's not leaving again.
All right, all right. Listen up. This is the thing that makes me the most pissed off about this team right now. There are a lot of things, but I think the biggest one is the fact that right now every single person in this organization is either in a spot where they're trying to hold on to the position that they're in, or they're trying to, for selfish reasons, do something else. Let me explain. Jody Allen, in the position she is in currently, she is desperately trying to hold on to the team. We all know this. She's trying to make all of her money as much as she can. She knows that if she has to actually do stuff to make the team good, it's going to cost her. Bert Coldy is literally just like mosquitoing off of the fact that he can sit around and get to have some fun with this team, right? All he is doing is profiting off of his association with his former friend, Paul Allen, Joe Cronin. Well, Joe Cronin's doing a great job of kissing. I'm not going to continue that conversation or that point, but he's doing a great job at it. I think
Good job. Way to keep
he's
it clean.
really getting in there. And yep, keep it PG, right?
Yeah.
And he knows that he's gonna, get his 8 years as a GM if he continues to keep it kosher and do what the boss says. And then we get to Chauncey Billups, and Chauncey is like the worst one because I think he knows at this point he's a sitting duck, right? I think he's kind of thinking, okay, I'm probably not going to get another head coaching job after this. But he's playing the guys that he wants to try to get wins with. He's not prioritizing development. All he's doing is trying to like make his resume just look that much better so that
Yeah.
maybe he's not in such a bad position when he gets his job.
Well, you do have to wonder how
And
much of it comes from maybe the top. Like, I know they say Chauncey has free reign, but if you have a lame duck coach, if he is a truly lame duck coach, and I'm not even 100% sold on that, you have to wonder how much of it is other people telling him who to start. But I mean, I just don't understand why the organization would want to not start Scoot after this run he's been on, so it's very strange.
it's because they have a subset this idea that a subset of the fan base just wants us to win games, and maybe Cronin knows. I'm sure he knows that the best way to build up a team is to do it through the draft for a small market, and he knows the best way to draft well is to get good draft picks. I'm sure he logically understands that concept. And I'm sure that Chauncey just wants to, get people to win basketball games. But there's got to be more nuance to that within the organization. When you look at a team like the Thunder only tanked. They only tanked actively for 2 seasons. They were decent after the Westbrook trade. They took the Rockets to 7 games. A Rockets team that many thought was going to be the team that took uh, the Lakers to many games.
I'm just gonna go. You
They
can keep going.
yeah. Then they were bad for 2 seasons, and because they were so good at managing their assets, they got out of just 2 seasons of tanking with a huge amount of draft picks. Probably 3 All-Stars. We'll call SGA an obvious All-Star. We'll call Chet a likely All-Star. We'll call 'J-Dub' a likely All-Star. Um, 'J-Dub' a likely All-Star. We'll call J-Dub a likely All-Star. We'll call Chet a likely All-Star. We'll call Chet a likely All-Star. We'll call J-Dub a likely All-Star. and an incredibly deep team, and they did it in 2 seasons of tanking. We're arguably in season 4 right now. I mean, we actively tanked after Dame's injury. That was half a tanking season for sure. Then we, quote, went for it, unquote. And now we have 2 bad seasons. And I just don't think that we have a lot to show for it. And I think that stems from people wanting to save their own jobs and their own butts. Or if they know they can't, trying to do what they can to up the resume. So that's my rant.
Yeah, I mean, when you start a rebuild by trading for SGA and 7 first, I mean, it kind of shifts things a little bit. It's hard to compare. But, I mean, the Thunder have done a great job of doing what we've been begging the Blazers to do, and that's use the salary cap to continually add assets, continually add veterans like Chris Paul, Al Horford, whoever, where you get compensation for taking them on, and then you flip them a year later and get compensation for flipping them, and they could just continue to stockpile assets after that to make it so they have. I mean, they're the same draft. You know, they draft Chet obviously at 2, which is as long as he's healthy, a good pick, and then they have a situation where they completely whiff on Ousmane Dieng, but it doesn't matter because they also acquire the 12th pick and take Jalen J-Dub, you know, and like, so the thing with them is they just keep taking chances, and we're not really in a position to do that right now. I mean, maybe we'll get lucky with some of our future picks we still have, the swaps and things like that, but they've been afforded the ability to continually every year take swings on players in the draft, and all you have to do is hit on one occasionally, and all of a sudden you have a huge starting lineup that is looking like one of the better younger teams of all time, you know?
Yeah, and you know what? The Thunder are um really lucky to be in that position. But I think you can also look at a team like the Grizzlies, who did have a grit and grind era, where they had Marcus All, Mike Conley, um, and they did end up trading those guys, blowing it up, and being pretty bad for a couple seasons. But the amount of picks that they got from all of that was not nearly what you would say for OKC. So OKC definitely got lucky there, but like the Grizzlies had a couple bad seasons. They identified the talent. They said, Ja Morant, you are the guy. And obviously, he was the guy. He did have the talent to back that up. Um,
Good coach, too.
couple bumps notwithstanding. But they coached him, they developed him, they developed pieces around him. They found really, really good pieces in the draft that they would not have had the opportunity to draft if they didn't stockpile those picks and make smart decisions during the tank. I mean, they got Bane at 30. They got Jalen Wells, who is now looking like the rookie of the year. They got Laravia. They got Santi Aldama. They got all of these guys. I mean, even the guys they've moved on from at this point, like DeAnthony Melton or Tyus Jones. They got really later on in the draft. And I think when you look at Jody trading away second round picks for cash, and you think, well, why can't we have done that? We invested in this quote unquote all star scouting department, right? Why can't we give them some leeway to try to do something like the Grizzlies? And then even when you look at the coaching decisions of the Grizzlies, Jenkins, I mean, he's had his ups and downs, but they identified a real problem with his coaching mentality in the offensive efficiency of last year. Obviously, injuries played a part with that, but then they decided, well, we're going to hire some people to put around him, and now they're one of the best offenses in the NBA. Um, and obviously, we're not in the position where we can just be like, okay, we're gonna really make some smart coaching decisions. But at the very least, you would think that Chauncey or the people around Chauncey would want to identify what pieces they can build around and how they can develop an identity around those guys. And it's just not there.
Yeah, well, I mean, you mentioned this is this is what good organizations do, and this is what bad organizations do. The Blazers had the 34th pick. They could have taken Jalen Wells, and instead we trade away all our seconds, and we don't want to add talent. Yet a few months later, Joe Cronin in an interview says, "Oh, we're still in talent acquisition mode, and we still need to acquire talent." Well, okay, you just passed up on talent in the draft. Um, but like the Grizzlies, they find their guys, whether it's Dylan Brooks in the second round several years ago. Like, oh, you named a bunch of them. Like, um, they find their guys, and and then you hit on high draft picks, and hopefully that's still going to be the case for the Blazers. That this Scoot, Shea, Klingon trio ends up being cornerstone or part of the core for a long time. And hopefully we get lucky. We're going to have to get lottery luck at this point because it looks like we're going to be too good to get really good odds in the draft. But yeah, they have to find a way to keep adding players. But I mean, Memphis, they take Zaire Williams at 10. They trade up for him, and that was a whiff. Like they have had bad picks too. You just have to get lucky and have your cornerstone guys, and then. But if you hit on picks outside of the lottery, like you mentioned with Bane and Jalen Wells and stuff, that just changes your direction so much. And they haven't had Gigi until this week, right? He hadn't
Yeah,
played the
two
entire season.
games.
So like, I mean, that's another guy they drafted in the second round that, I mean, we haven't even seen his impact yet this year in year two. So, like, yeah, they just continue to find these diamonds in the rough, and they have a coach that gets the most out of their players, and that's might be a kind of a chicken and the egg type of thing, like whether it's those players are just good draft picks or if they seemingly have so many good draft picks because they're so well coached and the system is designed to help those guys play well as well as they are capable of. So maybe that's just the case, but yeah, I mean, it does get frustrating watching this rebuild, and just wondering how we're going to be set up to continue to add to this current core. And I don't know, man. I still think a lot's going to be determined over these next 2 weeks, and hopefully that puts a little bit of it to rest. But in terms of value, like I don't know if we have enough value to really change the direction that much with some trades. The only thing that would change the direction is if we are in a position to acquire salaries and get assets for doing so, and maybe you find the value that way instead of just outright in trades. But I don't know, man. It feels like we're kind of stuck, but at the same time, this team has played well the last 3 games, and try not to get fooled by that again. But I mean, they definitely show signs of a good team in there, and who knows, maybe it is as simple as getting a new coach and a new voice and a better system and with better schemes that can develop these guys better. But I don't know, man. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, in terms of there being a good team in the Blazers as currently constructed. I do think there is some validity to that, but there's like you could say, oh man, yeah, like this team is gonna maybe if they were coached well compete for the play-in, right? Um, there's no, at least yet, there's no star. We have some prospects who we would love to see become stars, and I have a lot of faith in potentially them getting there because the talent is there. Um, but I guess the thing that I would say is in terms of talent development, you can go for getting wins by playing the guys who've maybe already developed most of their talent. Um, and you can also identify what your young guys are already good at, put them in the positions where they can do that, get them comfortable, and then add to that. And it's an additive process. And once you get to the point where those young guys are taking on the amount of responsibility that you'd see in a starter level player or a star level player, that's when you need to make room for them. That's where you need to give them the reins. And however you accomplish that, it's important to do because if you throw that out there, tantalize them with a couple starts, and then you take it away, it just it destroys their confidence, I think. And single game sample sizes are really hard to say. I love my 5 game sample sizes, but sample size of 1 for Scoot and sample size of 2 for Sharp in terms of games played, it really didn't look like they took well to being benched and having their minutes cut. So I think the key forward with development is if you think that those guys are your stars of the future, just gradually giving them more responsibility, giving them more areas of comfort, and it's just so inconsistent. And I think that stems from us not having that direction, that clear kind of forward guiding light of we need to make way on this roster for those guys by trading Ant, trading Grant. I mean, it's it's definitely a process. There might be a point at which the team looks better, but there's a difference between coming out of a rebuild with a team that you think can compete for the playoffs and coming out of a rebuild with a team you can compete for a championship with.
Yeah.
And I don't think we're going in that direction.
All right, real quick answer, Aeromancer. If the Blazers stay at 34, draft Jalen Wells, do you think he's like anywhere near rookie of the year right now? I know it's an impossible question, but like, do you have any faith that like he'd be like Chris Murray right now on the bench? Like,
I don't think he'd be Chris Murray. I think he'd be very close to Tamani Kamara, which is to say, well, first of all, probably not as good on defense as Tumani. I think Tumani's better, even though Wells is like legitimately a really good defender.
yeah,
I think that he would struggle offensively way more because he'd be asked to um, do things in a way that the offense does not facilitate efficient actions for him. I mean, we were talking about the Grizzlies bringing in a new offensive system. It's really crazy what they are doing with that and how good a lot of their players are looking with it. I think that, I mean, this draft class is not good
mm-hmm.
in terms of immediate impact for sure. So I think he'd still be up there, but he would definitely not be as highly considered, is what I would say.
Yeah. All right, Airman, real good talking to you. We got Westwood in the audience.
Yep. All right. Well, yeah, good to talk to you and Tori for a brief moment there. Hopefully, people enjoyed
Before he
my rant.
ditched you.
And yeah, he's like, I'm out. I've heard enough.
All right, man. Have a
All
good
right.
night, Aeromancer. See you in chat.
Peace.
All right, Westwood, if you're still in there, hopefully you're
Yep,
not.
I'm still in here. You hear me?
Yeah, what's up? Who are you? And
I'm Wes Davison. Different name on the Discord, but
nice. What's up, Wes? How you doing, man?
very good, very good. First time caller, long time listener,
All right, just try not to cuss or anything like that.
Absolutely. The one thing I totally agree with you on that is like probably my biggest thing is the fact that we're a rebuilding team and we're pushed up against the cap. That is driving me nuts. I hope we fix that this trade deadline.
Yeah, man. It's frustrating because you think of all these trade scenarios, and the other thing too is we have 15 players on our roster too. So if we did like a 3-for-1 trade, like let's just say the team was willing to give us a first for Jeremy, we could trade uh, for 3 expiring contracts, and like the deal looked awesome on paper. We'd have to cut 2 players just to make that trade like work, or find another team for 2 of those players or whatever. So like it does complicate things when you are maxed out on roster spots and you're up against the cap, because you can't really take back significant money more, like, because otherwise we could trade like um like Jeremy Grant for Ben Simmons and just take a 1-year expiring deal or something. And I'm not saying Brooklyn would do that. It was just an example. But like,
Yeah, it'd be awesome.
like but we're like, if we're under the cap, under the tax by enough, we could get away with doing something like that. But the other ones, unfortunately, we pretty much can only take back slightly more than we're sending out, and that makes it a lot more complicated to do trades.
Absolutely.
What do you think
Sounds
is
like
going to
maybe there's
happen in
a
these
delay.
next 2 weeks?
Boy, I hope I lose my bet with you. I was thinking Cronin's not going to do a damn thing. We're going to stand pat and roll it back next year for
Yeah.
next year.
Where
So that scares the hell out of me.
where in the area do you live?
I live in Fairview, Troutdale, Fairview area.
Oh, okay. Yeah, man.
Yeah,
Either way, still be cool to meet up and have a beer or something. So we'll we'll
absolutely. Maybe
we'll
even
have it
at a
happen
remix
no
game or
matter.
something. Yeah.
Yeah, no matter who loses the bet.
There you go. There you go. Turning back to tonight's game, not just Blazer specific, but I really enjoyed the way the ref this game tonight. Just kind of let them play. It was a fun basketball game for me to watch, even though the offense has struggled.
You like the defense?
I did.
Do you
I like the
watch like
defensive play.
do you watch football too, or are you just basketball fan?
Yeah. I used to be a football coach, and I was,
Oh, okay.
used
So
to coach football. Yeah,
so you like defense there too?
I
Or
do.
no?
I do. I even know I was more of an offensive guy on football, but
Uh-huh.
yeah,
Yeah.
definitely like good defensive play.
Yeah, lost in all this scoot debate. The playing the 3 wings at the same time, man, that provides a lot of defense, a lot of length on the perimeter, and it does give teams problems. And Orlando's, they don't have like necessarily the size at center, especially with Goga hurt, but like they have, they're like big at other positions, and so like I think the length of the Blazers tonight really bothered them.
Yeah, I do, and like I said, I really enjoyed watching that. Orlando could have definitely used Dan Simons tonight. I think it showed.
Yeah. Yeah, that was it still baffles me that they didn't seem to have any interest in him over the off season. And maybe
Yeah.
that could still change here in the next 2 weeks, but yeah.
There you go.
I don't know, man. Maybe tonight helped them. Maybe it was as simple as they were trying to showcase some of their bets for Orlando tonight. But
Yeah, I think so. I'm not going to go on full on rant mode like Torrey did tonight until after the deadline. If Cronin does nothing, I'll probably going to be pretty angry.
yeah, I agree. I mean, I'd be happy to buy you that beer, but I I'm not pissed at all about that. That's a fun side effect of it. But like, yeah, I mean, how could you look at this team, this roster, the issues with playing time, and the blockages of your young guys at certain positions when you know Chauncey's going to play the bets over them, and then how do you manufacture injuries again for post All-Star break if you still have all these guys on the team too? I mean, I'm sure they could find a way, but it's just like I don't know. I'm sick of the like outward blatant lying about injuries and stuff. So like,
Yeah,
um,
yeah, that's terrible.
it's just like, why don't you just simplify things and just clear a path for your guys? And like you drafted all these guys too. That's the other reason I don't understand why you want any of them blocked because like these are all your guys. It's not like um, you're stepping into a situation where like Dame's already on the team and you're not a Dame fan or something. You know, I don't know, but it's
That's
yeah. Go ahead.
I was going to say that somebody made that statement about they Blazers want to kind of partly win because they're going to lose fans or whatever. I think guys like us are going to watch no matter what. We're rooting for the right thing, not trying to win unnecessary games. We need to develop and be ready for championships.
That's what I don't understand about the you have to keep Jeremy because this team has to be competitive. It's like, have you watched the team when Jeremy doesn't play versus when he does, and have you like seen that with him we're still a pretty crappy team. We're still 13th in the West. Might be 14th if New Orleans gets things turned around.
Absolutely.
So like, I don't understand that either. I mean fans aren't dumb. They know that if you turn the keys over to Scoot and Sharp, there's going to be some growing pains. But it's also those guys are fun to watch when they're playing well too. So like, I think it does provide a little bit of excitement and the
It
thing
does for
is,
me.
yeah, and there's a huge difference between trading your bets and playing Scoot and Sharp versus having like Justin Minaya and Duop Reith. No offense to those guys, but like you're picking up Brandon Williams on a 10-day contract or a two-way, and then signing him to the roster. Like Jonathan Williams. No one wants to watch those guys, right? Because they're just into the season. I mean, we signed that guy who in the off season after he played here committed a murder or something like Chance
Yeah.
Kalanchi or whatever. Like no one wants to watch those guys play. Drew Eubanks, stuff like that. Keldon Blevins, like no one gives a crap about those guys, right? Like
No, they
that's
don't.
no one's gonna watch that team. But if it's Scootin' Sharp and Klingon when he's back, playing the rest of the year, and they're losing a bunch of games, but they're fun to watch, or maybe showing some signs of development. Like people will still be tuned in. I think. I mean, they're not gonna care that much about winning or losing. I don't think losing would be the reason. I think it's more just the fans want to have the organization pick a lane, like many people in chat have talked about, and it just doesn't seem like they're going to do that.
That's it. And I'm tired of cash considerations being so high on Jody's draft board. I don't know why we didn't take your guy Chomsky with one of those second round picks and put him in the G League and develop some of that rawness,
Man, he's leading the G League in blocks over the last 10 games. He had 6 blocks the other night. like a night or two
Jeez.
ago. Yeah, they were like impressive looks.
Yeah,
Yeah, I still
that,
have high hopes for him, but yeah, he's starting to really figure things out on defense. At least offense has still been very bad, but yeah, defensive monster. But yeah, I mean, obviously, I was hoping for that too. Especially I didn't think he would fall to the late 50s, but when we traded that one, I think it was, I forget what, if it was the 40th pick we traded for the 52nd pick in cash or something. And then we ended up trading that pick too for cash. Like, could have just stayed there and taken it, man.
uh, oh, maybe I lost signal for a second there.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, I'm driving up the road right now. I'm busting my tail for the
Uh,
man is driving to Tacoma. So
what is that? Is that for
sometimes
work?
signal kicks in and out. Yeah, yeah, working.
Nice. What
So
do you do for work? If
I
you don't
drive
mind.
truck for UPS.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Yeah,
You usually
yep,
do it at
easy
night?
job, good job. Yep,
Yeah.
yeah, I usually have night shift. Yep.
That's cool.
So, well, all right, very good. Thanks for
All right.
taking my call. Be
Nice
in touch
talking
with
to you,
you guys
Wes.
soon, and I'll keep listening. Yep, have a good one. Bye.
Yeah, you too. Bye. All right, that leaves no one in the queue. If anyone wants to call in and talk to me before Tori gets back, or wait until Tori gets back, you can do that as well. But Discord is open if you want to come join me and talk to me for a little bit. Um, Give me just a second. All right, so what's up, chat? How are we feeling about this conversation? Are people, other than obviously there's a couple that I know about, but are are any of you like upset on the way this conversation has gone after it should be the Blazers win 3 in a row? Like let's celebrate. I don't know. Brendan says he's kind of annoyed about this whole situation. What annoyed about what? Just all the things we've been talking about, or Fun Piece says we tanked for Scoot. It hasn't panned out. We got Klingon, and he can't play for 20 minutes without fouling out or exhausted, and he's been injury prone, so tanking hasn't worked out well. I mean, Scoot's in his second year and showing signs of improvement. Klingon's in his rookie year. I don't think you can just say those things as factual yet. I mean, you could end up being correct for sure, but yeah. West Side just talked about the defense being awesome tonight, Rick. What are you talking about? Eric hosting the party if we make the plan. Yep, Desmond, you better show up. We'll party and watch the play-in game together. Yeah, Tori, we're using our platform maliciously. Um, so Tyler, so 2 nights ago, I was at the game and talked about meeting someone at the game. Um, And someone in chat by the name of Tyler Smith said that they had met me before and were disgusted by me or something. So I was wondered if that was you, or I mean, I guess it could have been a different Tyler Smith, but I'm pretty sure it was you, man. Okay. AJ says, wait, there was a game today. Dun, dun. No, it was you, Tyler Smith. You are a liar, sir. I just clicked on your name. We can see your chat history. What's up, Denthard? Busted. Are you? So you're just lying then? I was just generally curious because, yeah, I don't remember having a negative interaction with anyone from the channel. But yeah, 2 streams ago, Tyler Smith under this exact profile. I met Eric in person once and I was disgusted. What do you have to say for yourself, Tyler? Are you just going to go away now? Denthard, you're going to hoop with us this summer? Rick says if the Blazers win tomorrow, it'll be the best first 45 game stretch in the Chauncey era. That's not saying much. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, New Year's resolution. Nice. Nice. Yeah. I am definitely not 5'2" in real life, Desmond. Come on. Okay, so why did you just lie about saying it then? Wow. Wow. Drew asked, do you think there's actually a chance Dame will come back to Portland and retire a Blazer? Yeah, I really do. I don't think it's going to happen in the next couple of years, but I definitely think at some point he'd consider it, especially if we had a new front office or something. But yeah, and I don't know how significant it will be. Like it could just be for not necessarily like him coming off the bench in year 15 of his career is like gonna win us a championship as our 6th man or something. But yeah. Oh, Desmond. I mean, you can literally watch videos on this channel of me playing basketball and see that I'm not that short, but whatever. Whatever. AJ asked, why not let Ryan play more with our G League team? He literally did just play a G League game. Yeah. Don't feed the trolls since 10:30 yet. Christopher asks, do you think he's happy playing G League? I don't know, man. I think people like playing games. Obviously, I think he wants to play on the real team, but I don't know. That's not a cool thing to joke about, Tyler. Jeez, trying to ruin my rep. But no, I mean, Ryan's played some minutes in rotation minutes throughout the seasons. Like, I guess towards the beginning of the season, it was a little more consistent for a while, but then he got yanked out of the rotation. But I think, yeah, it's tough with a player like that to just send him down to the G League to get more run when you kind of think like a lot of times he might be needed on the actual roster. So. Yeah. Yeah, Ryan is more of a three, a 2-3 guy, and Bari is more of a 4-5, so they don't really play the same position. I forgot who this was that asked earlier, but someone asked if Brandon Ingram, Julius Randle, or forget who the third one is. The third one, I don't remember. If any of those were viable, Zach Levine, thanks. If any of those were viable trade options for the Blazers, as my dog laps up the water, I'd say basically a 0% chance for Levine or Ingram, unless it's like they get an asset or something for taking those guys, which doesn't look like it'll be the case. But Randall, I think there's an outside chance. But before Desmond has a mess in his pants, the only reason the Blazers would acquire Randall is if it's a situation where they can't find a third team and it's like they just look at it in terms of Jeremy's got 3 years more on his contract, or I guess it'd be 2 years at that point, 2 more years at that point. So it wouldn't be for like, oh yeah, he's going to be a cornerstone rotation player. I think they would try very hard to flip him or find a third team. He's not an expiring in a few months. He has a player option. So I guess you could get super lucky and have him decline that player option, and then you have all that free space or whatever. Oh, but I think that's the only way they would acquire a guy like Randall is if they got some sort of asset that they wouldn't have gotten just because they took a player on like that. But the Timberwolves only have one first round pick they can trade, and that's a protected Detroit pick that they got in the Cat trade. So if they trade that and Randall for like Jeremy Grant or something, you basically traded Cat for Dante DiVincenzo and Jeremy Grant. I mean, that's horrible. So I don't know, man. Desmond says he's signing that player option. The market is tough. Yeah. Could they though, Aeromancer? Because they don't have a first to trade to do that. So he said they could do something similar to the Suns, but the Suns had their 2031 first. The T-Wolves gave that up in the Rob Dillingham trade. So, yeah. Henry says, I'm honestly not sure who wants Randall and Grant gone more between their respective fan bases. I think Minnesota fans are blaming him for their fall off from a Western Conference Finals team to a struggling to make the play-in team. So I think for them it's probably worse that they're focused on Randall as their problem, whereas the Blazers just want to should open it up. But I think a lot of our fan base still likes Grant stuff. No, let's see. Aeromaster says they have a tradable first, they can do it. No, that doesn't work that way because their only tradable first is a protected pick, and the only reason why it's not the greatest protection. So there'd be no reason for another team to give up 3 firsts for a protected first, or even 2 firsts for a protected first. So you're basically out of luck there. Don't do that, Eric. You made me do that. What did I make you do? Yeah, they have swaps, but you can't really trade a swap. But the swaps Minnesota have are going to other teams, aren't they? They're not swaps to Minnesota. They're swaps going back the other way. I'm not going to answer that, Taylor. Jesse asked, what about the Charlotte game? Are the Blazers going to win? I mean, they just beat the Magic and the Heat on the road. Charlotte's a much worse team. Arameister, what are you confused about? Desmond, stop, bro. Stop. I was thinking about letting you call in, but you're done. Charlotte is already ruling guys out. Yeah, I'm sure they will. Well, Brandon Miller is now out for the season. What's up, Drew? How you doing, man? I hear Tori returning.
Why do you sound so sad about that?
Nothing.
I saw Taylor's question. Thoughts on Tori's performance?
I said I wasn't gonna.
You can answer.
No, I said I was gonna entertain that question.
Chat, you can answer.
I meant it.
How's my performance lately? Am I worth $35 million? Hopefully, you know. I'm just a little malicious with the platform, Eric. Oh, man.
Malicious.
Good stuff. Malicious.
That's so stupid.
So malicious. I'm getting to the point where I just do not care, and I will just, I don't know. There's a point in time where I would just go at these people that come in our chat, man, and then I've cleaned it up. I've been more civil. It doesn't matter.
Well, the thing is, we always say this, but it bears repeating since we have some new people in tonight. The whole thing of our platform, our channel, is we say what's on our mind. We tell you how we're feeling. We don't sugarcoat things. We also don't make up things to be happy about or to be mad about. These are things we actually do care about, and it does affect our emotional states, especially me. Like, I can admit that, like, some of my highest and lowest moments of my life have been, watching the Blazers play basketball. So um, it's it's a case where we wear our hearts on our sleeves and we say what we feel, and like, who the F cares about winning a game in Orlando in the middle of the season, in a season where we're the 13th seed, right? Like, um, it's like, yeah, like,
Here's the thing. Also, here's the thing too. Like, oh, maybe one day you'll be positive. Blah, blah, blah. Bro, we've been positive in some losses this year. Like, much more positive than this stream. Here's the thing. If you're coming into the stream, like, you guys should be positive or negative based on the final score, you're completely missing the bigger picture of the entire season. You're completely missing the bigger picture. And I hope that even if you don't like that we're negative in a win, you actually will listen and maybe understand why we're negative, right? Because some people just say, oh, Tori just has his platform so he can be negative, so he can criticize this team, blah, blah. This is my favorite team. I grew up loving this team, man. I fell in love with basketball by watching this team. Like, why would I just want to criticize this team? People don't know how much I've sacrificed to build this platform, right? And listen, if I was maybe a little bit more cookie cutter positive, if I kissed the ass of media members, I might have credentials and might have a much bigger platform. You know what I mean? I've sacrificed a lot for this platform. That's not what it's about, though. That's not what it's about. So nobody builds a platform covering their favorite team and is just like, I just want to hate on my favorite team. And nobody gets this level of successful, I feel like, if they're not truly a fan of the team or like a credentialed media guy, right? There's a reason we got 11K subs on YouTube, you know what I mean? So the entire point of this is this season is not about wins and losses, okay? This organization has conditioned its fan base to root for losses at the end of the year. So if you can't understand why, I'd be like, man, maybe it would have been better if we lost this game when we get into late January. It's like we're getting closer to tanking season. At some point, we're going to be rooting for losses because the organization is actively going to try and lose games. So if you don't understand that part, then I don't know where you've been the last 3 years, but welcome back to the team. Okay, also, for the fan base, that was here 5 years ago, like, what percentage of them don't even care enough to even know that the Blazers won tonight? Maybe half the fan base, like, viewership's down that much. So many people are so checked out, they probably don't even know that the Blazers have won 3 games in a row, right? It's not about that. It's not about that. This season coming in was never about wins and losses. There have been losses that we've been very positive in. One of them was the Brooklyn game where Scoot had 39, because seeing Scoot play well is a really good sign for the future, and that's exactly what this season is about. Is the future. Is about developing the young players, accumulating assets for the future, because for years, with Dame, when I was like, man, let's build a winner around him, I had so many people that now excuse what Cronin's doing, saying, oh, you can't build a good enough team around Dame, or, you know what I mean? Like, it's too late. We're stuck in the middle. We need to rebuild. Like, we're stuck as a playoff team that's not good enough to win it all. And basically the whole Dame tenure is we were just a playoff team that wasn't good enough to win it all, right? But when we see this organization actively taking steps, or maybe it's inactivity that is leading towards them being in that very position, it's very frustrating, because it's like, I don't want to go through all this pain to be stuck right back in a position where it's like, yeah, we're good enough to make a playoffs, but we're probably going to lose in the first round, and we're not good enough to actually contend. And that's the thing that goes into when the Blazers mess up their lottery odds and win games at this time of year. It's like, all right, it's going to make it even harder to get a top draft pick. So we're going to get a worse draft pick. Maybe we can still get lucky, but it's a lot harder. And that just leads us towards being right in the position that we were with Dame, where we weren't good enough to win it all, where we're just stuck in the middle. Not bad enough to get a high draft pick, not good enough to contend. And I don't want to be back there. I do not want to be back there. I want this team to rebuild the right way, accumulate assets, hopefully get the best draft pick possible so that they can build a good enough team in the future so that they actually contend. And we can talk about, man, maybe this is their year, so that we can have post-game shows in the second round, the Western Conference Finals. Shoot, I would kill to do a finals post-game show after a Blazers finals win. You guys have no idea how much fun that would be and how badly I want that. Okay?
That's not happening.
And that is the misunderstanding that people have when they tune into the show. It's just like, these guys hate the team. They're so negative. They're so negative. And Jesse Scott says, we get the picture, but being the worst team tanking doesn't mean we're capturing Cooper Flag. I understand being mad about Scoot not getting starts. It's really frustrating, blah, blah, blah. Like, yeah, but also Dylan Harper's really good. Ace Bailey is really good. Yaku Chonis is really good. The top 4 in this draft is really good. There is a big drop-off. If we're the worst team in the league, we have a better chance of getting one of those 4 players. I think there's a big drop-off after that. There's some good talent, but not guys that I'm confident will be stars. Those 4 guys, I'm pretty confident can make an all-star game or be stars, and Cooper Flag is a franchise changer, right? So, yeah, you want to maximize your odds at that because that's what this organization is banking on. So rooting for the organization to be successful in their crappy plan is not hating the team, right? It's not hating the team.
Well, it's also put us in a position where winning games is actually hurtful to our long-term plan or whatever that is. And that's frustrating too as a fan. I don't want to be in this situation much longer where we're like actively upset when they win too many games because like I'd rather be like, yes, 3 in a row, like how many can we get up to and all that stuff, like that's much more fun. But
Eric Olson says, Tori, I'm disappointed you didn't include VJ Edgecombe. Well, he's a 6'3 guard. Maybe a 6'3 wing, but it's like we can't even start Scoot and Sharp right now when Scoot's been playing great. So yeah, adding another one, I don't know. Like, they better be, like, future star, like, no doubts about it. That's how I feel about Harper, and I kind of have that same feeling about Yaku Chonis to a lesser extent. I think it's a little bit more iffy with Edgecombe. I like the way he's been playing lately, but, and the thing is Harper is, like, 6'5", 6'6". Like, maybe you can get away with playing Harper, Scoot, Sharp. I don't know. You'd have a really good offense, and hopefully, like, Denny at the 4 and Klingon at the 5 could shore up your defense enough, and Scoot and Harper can be solid enough that you have a decent enough defense. But, like, offensively, that could be a really good team. Shooting might be a question mark, but hopefully that would pan out, right? But at the end of the day, if you don't get the bigger picture, all right, I get it. If you don't like the negativity, all right, I get it. But there's a reason why people watch the show. It's not just to hate on the team. It's because we all want this organization to do better, and we all want this organization to get on the right path. And it's very simple that they're not. And beating Orlando doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. The only reason we'd remember this game next year is like, oh yeah, remember that time when Scoot was playing great and we took him out of the starting lineup? That is the only reason why we would remember this game.
Was it 2 years ago? Didn't we win back-to-back against, or I don't know if it was back-to-back, but 2 games in a row against like Detroit and Orlando on the road, and we thought that was going to cost us everything in the tank race, and ended up not. But
dude, I don't even remember.
I remember.
I bet people were sitting there and be like, "Be happy, they won a game."
Yeah.
Be happy, they won a game. I'm ready to say this dude is Riley and ban him, by the way, because there ain't no way this dude's for real.
I do want to say this though, Broski PDX, and for anyone who has this opinion, please listen carefully, okay? They say, I care, bro. Is it bad to be happy about a win? Absolutely not. Tori and I will never tell you that you have to be unhappy about this win or you have to be happy when they lose because you like winning. That's totally your prerogative, dude. We're not sitting here saying you have to hate Joe Cronin. We just tell you why we do, like, and lay out the reasoning. And it's the same thing going back to when we started this channel and we get so much hate for Terry Stotts. Like we were the first people who ever even suggested that Terry Stotts was not a good coach. And we clearly laid out our reasoning, gave multiple examples, had post-game shows every night explaining why each game Terry was frustrating us and stuff like that. If you want to like Terry Stotts still and whatever, like you're totally fine to do that. Like we're not sitting here telling you what to do, and this is why we get upset when people come in and be like, it's so negative and they're just being malicious and all that stuff, is because like we're not sitting here trying to tell you guys how to feel. We're just explaining our reasoning, and you are free to either agree with us or disagree with us. I don't care. Be happy for every win if you want to. Like that doesn't bother me, and that doesn't make you a better or worse fan than us. Like we're all rooting in our own unique ways for this team, and some of us can agree and some of us might not. But like that doesn't mean you can't be happy on about a win if we're not. Like
yeah, we speak our minds and we explain why we think a certain way. I've always said this about people that disagree. Okay, like actually listen to what we say and then actually think about why you disagree with what we say. All right, a lot of people in debates, it's not something where they listen to the other side of the debate. It's thinking about how they can come up with a good comeback that owns the other person, right? Or owns the other side of the debate, right? I don't know a better way to describe that. You're thinking more so about how can I respond in a way, or how can I pivot off? Like, I mean, when you debate people, a lot of them will, if you make a good point, a lot of them will pivot the conversation towards something else. Or what about this? Or what about that? And basically move it off the point you're making. It's not a conversation about the point you're making. So I've always said this about people that come in here and disagree. Like, all right, listen to us and explain why you disagree specifically with what we're saying. Because we can have a conversation. We've had good conversations with people that disagree, right? It's not something where we don't let people disagree. People will just say that when they come in and are very rude or insult us about their disagreements, get banned, and then say, oh, it's just because I disagreed. No. No. So that's the thing, because I'll debate you. We can have a conversation. That's what post-game shows are. They're a conversation with a community. That's why we got the live chat. That's why we talk to the live chat. Some people don't understand why we talk to the live chat. Some post-game shows, we probably don't talk to the live chat enough, right? We break down the game. But at the end of the day, it's all about what we see, and we speak our mind. And I will never not speak my mind. The channel could probably be bigger if I just strategically came up with things to say and kissed the right asses and blah, blah, blah. But no, I started this reason to speak my mind, and it's literally that simple. So if you're going to come in here and disagree, like, listen. If you still disagree, explain why. It's literally that simple. So that's just how I approach things. Yeah.
So Rick says some of you, including me, need therapy. Sports shouldn't run your life.
Don't tell us we need therapy, bro. Sports, literally, this channel got me, like, a dream job, brother. It's why I'm in this house. Trust me. The Blazers have not ruined my life. I root for them, and I want them to succeed, and being frustrated and mad when they do stupid stuff is not ruining your life, my guy. Okay? Because outside of, like, the scope of what the Blazers are doing in the grand scheme of things, like, the channel's paid off. We've met a lot of cool people, you know what I mean? We've done a lot of cool things, all right? We've had cool moments, and I still enjoy streaming. Even on streams where when I'm mad, I still love streaming, and I love the channel. So, like, the Blazers have made my life better, even through their own incompetency. And I think with a lot of people, it's like we got a cool community here. Hopefully, the community and this channel have made their Blazer experience better and their lives better. That's always kind of a goal of mine. So hopefully some people feel that way. And I think there's probably a lot of people that do. So you're just your viewpoint's off. Your viewpoint is off. Sports has not ruined anything. I'm the most cursed sports fan out there too, and I'm telling you this. I think you should seek therapy if you're kissing Jody Allen's ass this hard, though. Okay, yay. Gave us an excuse. Went into politics. Yay. All right. Thanks for giving us a reason. Goodbye. Good job, Riley. You went far. You went far this stream.
I don't think it's Riley. I think it's Kyle.
Or Kyle. Well, Kyle is Riley, probably.
No, they're different people for a while.
Are they? Are you sure?
Yeah, because they were both in the same chat.
Okay. Good job, Kyle. I'll give props. Took it pretty far. Got a lot of interaction from us tonight. Good job. Round of applause. All right, he's been hidden. We're going to do You Must Be Subscribed for a certain amount of time, and we can send him on his way.
Aeromancer, obviously, there was...
You said it was Riley. No, I think it was Kyle.
Obviously,
but you can't. Here's the problem. If you don't know for sure, you can't just say everything is this person that keeps making accounts and this person that keeps trolling. You can't treat it like that, because then some people that they have to give you a reason. They have to give you a reason. I mean, he was so off the wall illogical that he kind of gave us a reason before, but. They gotta give you a reason, because if people come in here and disagree, you could just say, "Oh, see, it's one of those people that always makes new accounts," just because it's a new account. But it's you don't know for sure, so you gotta wait. You gotta wait. At the same time, I mean, if people want to come in and be an example of a crony and show why they're ridiculous, then okay, I don't really have that much of a problem with that, to be honest. To be honest with you. So I'm going to end the call-in.
Who else wanted to talk?
Yeah.
Desmond wanted to.
I know. I know. 77% of people don't think Jody's a good owner. Brendan says, thanks for being a cool place to talk about my dogs. I got you, man. I got you. Fun P says, you erased my message. I didn't.
What message?
Yeah. Maybe you're shadow banned. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Brendan says holding the Magic to 79 says a lot about our defensive progression. Bro, but I don't know. Things are so messed up that it's oh. Here's Tori being negative again, okay? I'm the best at being negative. I'm the greatest of all time. Because my reaction... negativity. Yeah, my reaction to holding them to 79 was oh, of course the game Aiton doesn't play. We hold them to 79. Oh, man. We got Robert Williams starting. He's a much better defensive piece, you know? But at the same time, Jabari was flying around. There's definitely players on this team that deserve credit tonight for the way they defended. Kamara, we know what he can do. It's always cool to see somebody like Jabari. I also think the Magic are, I don't know. You held Banchero to 1 for 14 shooting. I think that's the most impressive thing, I guess. But they need more scoring. We talked about this offseason. That's why I thought they would be a team that would push hard for Anthony Simons. And now after this game, it's you see what Anthony Simons did in this game. He had a pretty efficient 21 points in 32 minutes. And it's they could have used that. They could have used that. For sure. For sure. If Scoot started in this game, I would be a lot more positive about this game. It's mostly just Scoot getting demoted to the bench after playing this well matters more than the Blazers winning this game. That's why we led with that. So. That's why. But you never know what you're going to get, right? Or you know exactly what you're going to get because you know how we think.
All I hear is you scrolling.
I am scrolling, correct. Hate seeing Scoot and Shea coming off the bench. Both guys have earned their minutes, in my opinion. And the thing is, like, even if they don't, they're the most important part of our future, and this season is about our future. So it's like, give them opportunity to make mistakes and learn from it. Give them a consistent starting role. You know, and then, like, with Sharp, like, all right, if he starts screwing off defensively, then, all right, then you can take that away from him if you're really trying to send a message and improve something, if it's, like, purposeful. Like, all right, I still might not agree with that because it's, like, applied inconsistently across the rest of the roster, but it's like, all right, Sharp's important for the future. Like, at least I can understand where you're coming from with that. With Scoot, I don't understand. But here's the thing with Sharp is, like, okay, if he improves that, he should be given his starting job back. But at the end of the day, it's like, all right, if you're going to start Sharp, if you're going to start Scoot, they're not going to bench Ant. You got to have a center. You got to bring two of Avdia, Kamara. Well, in a game like this, honestly, I don't mind the idea of just, like, starting Avdia at the center spot and just seeing what the hell that looks like. He is 6'9". He does play with good verticality around the rim. Like on fast breaks and that sort of stuff. And offensively, could be fun. You know what I mean? Like, if they were losing games because they're experimenting with Avdia on the center to see, like, oh, man, can he play any center at all? Probably not, but, like, let's just try it for the hell of it because we're rebuilding and we're tanking and we lose games that way. Like, I don't mind that. You know? If you do that to make sure you keep Scoot in the starting lineup in this game and keep Scoot's role consistent, and they lost, I would be happier.
Tom asked who you think the Blazers coach would be next season.
Chris Quinn. Although, wouldn't Miami have to allow us to talk to him? And they probably wouldn't, so maybe not.
Chauncey Billups.
I want Chris Quinn. Do you know who that is, Zerk?
Yes, I know who Chris Quinn is.
I'm just making sure.
Talked about him on the show before.
I don't remember everything we talk about when we do 2-hour post-game shows every game. I don't remember everything.
3-hour post-game shows after.
Yeah, exactly. So how am I going to remember everything?
No, the Becky thing is best. I think it's going to be a Sergey.
Oh, God. If this franchise really was in, like, let's please all the cronies mode, they would bring back Terry Stotts.
Yeah.
Let's please all the cronies and let's piss off Tori and Herrick as much as possible.
It's going to be Oliva, man.
Ugh, God.
Or Chauncey. One of those two.
I feel like, I don't know, man. I feel like Terry would be coaching this team very similarly to Chauncey.
Yeah, probably.
Chris S. says Chauncey is coaching for his job by dropping Scoot and Sharp to the bench. It wouldn't surprise me if they re-signed Chauncey to that extra year just to be cheap. Guys, like, I think there's a chance that Chauncey's back next year. I'm not gonna say how big of a chance. I don't think it's like a big chance, but I don't think it's completely out of the question that they bring him back to be cheap.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
And that is scary.
I don't think it's out of the question. With your tankathon.
Yeah. If they keep, like, Grant and Ayton and bring back Chauncey, man, then they will lose their cronies might become Branties, Jonesies, Uprise cult members. Can we call your fans Branties? Is that what you want to call them, or do you want a different name for them?
I don't care.
Chat, are you a Branty? Let me know. We're going to load up Tankathon here. Shout out to you if you were there for the play-by-play stuff I did earlier today for the first half. If you missed it, it's because you're not watching content on our second channel. There is a link in the description below that you should subscribe to. I'm a Joneser, hell yeah. I love my Jonesers, man.
I thought Taylor liked me.
Taylor? Yeah, well, I did accidentally give him moderatorship, so he kind of owes his loyalty to me, so I wouldn't feel bad about it. I kind of own him now, so he's my mod. And he's happy about it, which I am happy about. All right. Time for Tankathon. We got Washington, Utah, Toronto, New Orleans, Charlotte, Brooklyn. Philadelphia is at 7.
Yeah.
Portland is at 8. Portland's at 8. Hey, man. If we win 7 more games in a row and Phoenix loses 7 in a row, then we're in the play-in.
Oh, we're not losing the rest of the season, so we could get up to 9th. Watch, we're gonna have our best Tankathon. Right now.
Dude, that would be so funny, and also fitting. Yeah. This is the time we finally get the number 1 pick. At least, Toronto won. It's just take out this 3-game winning streak, and we're a game behind third best, and having the best odds possible for top 4 in the number 1 pick. You know what I mean? That's why it's man. But Scoot played well in the other one, so okay, I was happy about it. This win, not really. They're still only 4 games back, a third. It's still doable. They're really gonna have to tank though, because Toronto's gonna be tanking hard. Charlotte's gonna be tanking hard. New Orleans is not gonna be able to catch Phoenix. So with the deadline coming up, do they pull the plug? Probably. So they're gonna be tanking hard. Charlotte just lost Brandon Miller. It's going to be difficult to out-tank these teams. I know we're really good at it, but you're kind of putting yourself behind the 8 ball here. And, yeah, it's not ideal. It's not ideal. The Blazers right now only have a 26% chance of the top 4. That's not good. That's bad. So. The crazy thing, if you're 6th, it goes up 11 percentage points. If you're 5th, it goes up 16 percentage points. So at least get to 5th, man. That's my goal for them. At least get to 5th. Pass Philadelphia. They're a mess. Pass Brooklyn. You're now 2.5 behind Brooklyn. That dude, it might be impossible to pass Brooklyn at this point. I don't know. I'm just gonna simulate it. I'm tired of looking at this. It's a mess. All right. 14 is Atlanta via Sacramento. 13 is Houston via Phoenix. 12 is Golden State. 11 is Miami. 10 is Chicago moving down a spot. And 9 is Portland. Let's go, man.
9th, are you kidding me?
Let's freaking go. Con Knipple, you're a Portland Trailblazer. There's the rest. San Antonio wins it. I didn't even care to do it. That's how. San Antonio wins it. That's brutal. That's brutal, Eric. So we need to fall to 10th because the 10th place team is going to win it again. Right?
Yeah. Might as well at this point.
If we're 9th, we're screwed. If we're 7th, 8th, I think we're screwed too. Who would we even take it? Who would even take a 9, man? Anyway, all right. There's your tankathon, guys. At least it was kind of chaotic. Shout out to San Antonio. If there's one team that doesn't deserve Cooper Flag, it's San Antonio. They got Wemby. They don't need. I would be so sad if San Antonio won and we were sitting there at 9, bro.
Oh, I read earlier in this stream in chat that Flag is only good because he's playing against college competition.
Bro, he literally. What? That's like the worst take I've ever heard, man. He played at Team USA camp and was like one of the best players going against Team USA at 17 years old. But also, when guys dominate D1 high-level college competition, it's a pretty good sign that they're going to be a good player. You can see how good they are. You can use your eyes.
Well, especially when like every step up he's taken, he's dominated too. It's not like it's
So if we had the number 1 pick, should we just like pass on it because all these guys just dominated college competition, so they're not good? Like, where does the argument end? Because you can apply that to literally everybody in the draft. So how can you even single out Cooper Flag? You know, it's just that's wild. That's a wild argument. Who's better prospect, Luka or Cooper Flag? Like, obviously now it's really easy to sit here and say Luka, but like coming out of the draft, he wasn't even the number 1 pick. Definitely would have taken Flag ahead of him. There's obviously all the questions about like, does Luka's game translate and all that stuff. So, but will Flag be as good as Luka? I would probably bet against that just because it's hard to become as good as Luka is right now.
yeah, and plus Flag's a completely different type of player.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, if you're just talking prospect, Luka had major question marks that Cooper doesn't have many of. But I mean, looking back, Luka was like MVP of the league he was in and stuff. Like
Yeah.
But I agree too. Like, if you're gonna say who's better than like a top 5 player, it's like, well, I'm gonna say that it's more likely that someone wouldn't be a top 5 player than they are.
Yeah.
No matter who it is. Except for maybe Wemby, but
True. Damn. It's not good.
what?
Just had like almost an entire toenail fall off. But I don't feel anything.
Hey,
That's not ideal. Anyway.
this. All right. Do you know who Brett Usher is?
Yeah. He's cool.
Yeah.
He's cool.
So he posted something earlier today that said, "I'm bad at fake trades, but would love to hear some realistic Jeremy Grant trades."
Yeah, I saw that. I
Okay.
looked at one of them.
Huh?
I looked at one of the trades under that, but just one.
Did you see the Pistons one? Is that what it was?
No.
So this guy responded. This guy, his handle is General Manager Zero. He just did a bunch of trades to different teams.
Yeah.
And the Detroit one is Jeremy Grant and Denny to the Pistons for Tobias Harris, Tim Hardaway Jr., and a 2031 first.
So Jeremy Grant and who?
Denny. Plus 10 viewers from what comment?
Oh, the toenail thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Might have gained some though.
Might have gained some. Oh, bro, like I'm actually scared because I don't know what to do about it. And I don't want to deal with that.
So we're giving up Jeremy and Denny for Tobias Harris, Tim Hardaway, and 1 first. So I wrote.
Just traded 2 firsts for Denny. What the?
I said, I'm sorry, but this is really bad. The Blazers just gave up 2 firsts for Denny. He just turned 24 and is on a steal of a contract. They're not trading him. And this guy responded back to me, I know, but tell me honestly, that pick could have been Ware and McCain. Isn't it better to go for prospects? Even though they made the move, they can cut their losses. They need to get Grant's contract on their books. How is... we don't need to cut our losses with Denny. It's not like he's playing like Chris Murray or something, like... What are you talking about?
Yeah, in hindsight, if you drafted the perfect prospect for that pick, maybe. But it's like, you don't have hindsight when you make that deal, so that's why it's fine. It's throwing darts on the board. Who even, like, Bub Carrington? All right, is he going to be better than Denny is now? I'm not super confident with that. Like, so it's fine. And even if it was, like, maybe a little steep, you don't then sell him for less, because what the hell are you doing, man? What the hell are you doing? So, yeah, I'm tired of I'm getting tired of the trades I'm seeing on Twitter regarding the Blazers, but I
don't understand.
I'm ready for the deadline.
Okay. Maybe attaching Robert Williams or someone like that to get maybe a first from a team. Like, there were some rumors that the Lakers had recently called about Jeremy and Roberts. But once again, up until this point, they've been unwilling to attach a first. But, like, maybe you could justify trading both of them if you get a first. But Denny is not a throw-in. Tamani is not a throw-in. And those are the two guys I see most often. Like, let's trade for Robert Williams, but have him throw in Tamani and Denny on top of it. And we give up 4 seconds. And
yeah, dude, I'm so sick of it, man. I'm done with it. So, yeah, we need the deadline. We need a deadline. Like Reese says, we gotta think logically. Jeremy Grant gonna have little value, so we're attaching Robert Williams with him to get that first. Like, yeah, I mean, that's probably your best bet is you maybe try and find a team that wants both those guys and are willing to give up a first, because
we did talk about that last stream. They're going to have to be creative like that and use multiple players in the same trade, or multiple, like, one player go into one team to get value and then
tossing that value with to maybe get a first. Yeah. Definitely. I saw Tamani and Ant for Ben Simmons in a first trade earlier. See, like, if it's Ant for Ben Simmons in a first, at least that's an expiring contract and you get a first. Like, if it's a decent first, I'm like, all right, I can understand it. Why the hell are we throwing in Tamani, man? The Blazers are not trading Tamani unless they're getting, like, Wembanyama. Like, there's no realistic trade where the Blazers are trading Tamani. Or Denny.
Yeah.
Don't sleep on Seraph. Has great passing, good movement. I am sleeping on Seraph. Not a good shooter. Not a good athlete. Like, I don't get it. Which probably means he'll end up being really good, but he's fluid. I mean, okay, but if you can't shoot and you can't create space, how are you ever gonna be able to make anything happen on the floor? Like, you gotta. He has to be able to shoot. Now, he's like the type of guy where it's like, oh, he's shooting 28%, he can't shoot. He comes into, so I discount him, and then he comes into the league and starts making a bunch of threes. If he can become a really good three-point shooter, he could be a really good player because he is crafty, he can pass. But I just think, like, the three-point shot for him, if that looks bad right now, if that continues to struggle, he's going to have a really hard time making a legitimate impact. And even if he does end up being a really good three-point shooter, it's just like, is he, like, crafty, or, like, he's not athletic enough, so is he crafty enough to be able to, like, create his own shot? Mm-hmm. And that's where it's like, all right, I don't know. I don't know. Like Luka, everybody worried about his athleticism, but like his moves were really good, and he was like really, really crafty. Used his body really well, and he's bigger than Seraph, so it's
Sarah's still young enough to maybe figure some of it out.
yeah. Like, but it's just I've seen people have him as high as 4. I have him more like just outside the lotto to like early 20s. I forget where I had him on my last big board, but that's my range for him. I've seen people have him at 4, and it's just like I do not understand that at all. And people that I respect, not just random Twitter big boards, because random Twitter big boards will just have crazy stuff just for attention. I saw a big board the other day that had Hannes Steinbach at 9, Eric. I looked him up. He's a 6'8" big that doesn't shoot threes and like is not athletic. and this dude had him at 9, this random Twitter dude. And it's just like, you're just fishing for attention. He had him above Edgecombe. It was like, what the hell are you doing? If this dude was a big name, you would not have him at 9. You had like Colin Murray Boyles at 2.
Yeah.
Crazy. Yeah, Hannes Steinbach. And he had like some dude named like Josh Dix or something at 14. D-I-X is his last name. Yeah, I don't even want to say his name. You know, we can get Grady Dick and Josh Dix together, maybe. Like dudes, it's just like nobody has them anywhere near their big boards. And people will put them in the lottery so that they get a bunch of comments and attention. Or it's just people that are like trying too hard to be different or trying too hard to like be smarter. That's the thing. You can't make your big board based on what other people think. And some people will go just like consensus, which means they care about consensus, or they will go so far against consensus they're trying to be different than other people. Either way, you're caring about what people think.
Yep.
Anyway, Blazers got to figure out what the hell they're doing. You know what's funny, Eric?
Scoop.
You know what's funny? So I said this on Blazers Uprise Live on the second channel earlier today, but I got a text from somebody that was pissed off about bringing Scoot off the bench. That somebody was Stephen Vaughn, and he does not get pissed about a lot of things regarding the team. And he texted me, he's like, dude, I haven't been upset about the Blazers for a while. Them benching Scoot has me pissed. I was like, yeah, that's damn right, man. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Makes no sense.
It makes no sense. So, I don't know. I guess Scoot back to the bench. He's probably going to have a stretch where he struggles now. And, yeah, that's just great stuff. So, great stuff.
Well, hopefully he figures out how to play from there.
I mean, it's just like, why are you messing with his role when he's playing well as a starter? When he's having his best stretch, it's just pointless. It's just stupid. So, we'll see. But, yeah, Blazers win. Next stream is, let's see here.
Tomorrow.
Oh, we get to do this all again tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Tomorrow night, Charlotte. Cool. Cool.
I'm going to need a bunch of caffeine.
Sure. So, we'll see. They're going to win 4 games in a row.
Yeah.
Longest winning. Is that the longest winning streak since the 4 Josh Hart games? You remember that winning streak? Have they won 4 games in a row since then?
I don't recall.
Oh, no, they start 4-0 this season after.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Have they won 5 games in a row? We'd have to beat OKC on Sunday. At least the schedule gets tougher, man.
Hey, OKC lost tonight.
Yeah, I guess a shorthanded Dallas team, but and then we got the Dame return game on Tuesday. Can Scoot start for that game at least, please? Can we see Scoot versus Dame in that one? Like, can we? Probably not.
Tomorrow's stream should be the normal amount of time after the game.
Yes. And then same thing for like all these streams, cause I'll probably go to the Bucks game, just cause it's Dame return game. But those games next week, Tuesday and Thursday, are at 7 p.m., so that'll be normal post-game times. We won't have any issues until after the All-Star break. Although after the All-Star break, honestly, there is no Tuesday or Thursday early games until April.
Nice.
Those streams might be normal. So yeah, we'll be back to normal streams. We've had some late streams. You guys still show up for them, so we appreciate that. We greatly appreciate that. Yeah, I'm just over the directionless. I'm over the 2 timelines crap. A lot of people feel the same way, and a lot of people don't like that people feel that way, and that's fine. But at the end of the day, this organization needs to pick a path. We've been begging for them to pick a path for the longest time. So the path obviously is freaking rebuild properly. Anything else, Eric?
No, thanks for watching. Appreciate you all. Thanks for West and Aeromancer for calling into the show. And yeah, hope to see you all tomorrow.
Yep. Appreciate you guys. Have a good rest of your Thursday night. I'm looking forward to the weekend. And maybe the Blazers can lose tomorrow and actually make some progress in the tankathon race that they are trailing right now. 8th best odds. Will they be able to catch up? Will they be able to properly tank? We'll see. We'll see. Trade deadline 2 days from today. We'll have a live stream trade deadline morning. You can tune in for that to see us be happy or see us, probably more likely, be mad and negative and angry. Anyway. Shout out Bet US. We're out of here. Until next time, as always, peace out. Go Blazers!